Hey everybody, welcome to Franklin, Tennessee, where myself and Alex from Auto Buyer's Guide Behind the Camera. Say hi, Alex.
Hey everybody.
We're gonna do our first off-road test in the new Santa Fe XRT. It kind of looks like a baby Defender, and we're gonna find out, Alex, is it?
Yes, that's a good question.
Yeah, so we got a little off-road track they have pre-planned, and let me walk you around the XRT a little bit. First of all, we've got a set of 18-inch wheels rolling on a set of 245/60 R18s. This is a terrain contact by Continental. Maybe not a true all-terrain, but certainly a rugged terrain. We have some nice little tread blocks here, which will help us grip. Now, Alex, I've kind of given Hyundai some grief in the past about the XRT trim because for the most part in a lot of vehicles, it doesn't give you a lot.
That's true. Yeah, it's not the most rugged thing. It's not going to turn this into a Defender 130 or anything like that. But, you know, I think that for a lot of folks, it's going to give you the appearance that you want. It is going to take you a little further down the trail. Is that a real skid plate down there, or is that a faux skid plate? Let's knock on that. Is that metal down there?
It is, Alex, and this is why I like this particular XRT.
Wow. Yeah.
Because unlike some of the previous ones that have just been appearance, some cladding, maybe a black wheel, this one gives you a little bit of a skid plate, gives you about 1.3 inches of additional ground clearance, so we're sitting at 8.3 inches. And it gives you a proper all-terrain tire. So let's go find out if it actually performs as good as it looks.
Yeah,
Alex,
let's see how it works.
I'll take the camera from you.
Sounds good.
You want to roll?
You get two goes here because that guy's gonna go down the trail first.
You want to roll down the window and I'll.
Sure. I will. Let's roll down all the windows here.
We're going full safari mode, Alex.
We are, with no Safari windows though, no Safari glass in here.
So
Alrighty.
Do you have an off-road mode in this vehicle?
We have our drive modes here, so let's see. We have snow, normal, sport, and my drive. I'm guessing snow. I'll go with snow. And then we do have a four-wheel drive lock button here, which is, of course, no transfer case. It's not really locked, but it's going to say, please have some more lock. And then we have our downhill brake control.
Yeah.
So let's give it all it's got.
All right, I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm ready. Now, this course was pre-made by Hyundai, so we're not going to be doing anything that's going to get the car damaged, but we got some undulation here. A little bit of a set of smaller rocks over here. Now this is more than I think I would take a typical Santa Fe through, but hopefully
there we go.
This new XRT trim with some of the ground clearance improvements and more aggressive tires will do okay. So 8.3 inches, not quite as much as something like a Subaru Outback, but Alex is negotiating that first little berm there. No problems at all. It looks a little bit more wild in person, but it certainly isn't the Rubicon Trail, I'll put it to you like that. Just enough clearance, got some sidewall deflection there, picked up that wheel a little.
Tiny bit of articulation, not a lot, you know.
You want to unlock it?
Unlock that door.
Sweet. All right, Alex, let's go down the trail a little bit longer, and then I'll have myself take over. So walk me through the engine and powertrain in this car, Alex.
So this one has the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder turbo, 277 horsepower, and controversial for some folks, it has the 8-speed wet dual-clutch transmission that we've seen in some other Hyundai vehicles. Maybe not the most natural choice for an off-road vehicle since there's no torque converter, so in some of those really slow situations, it is going to be slipping that clutch. But I think that for the mission of this, being more of a, not a soft roader, because that does seem, you know, not quite appropriate for this vehicle either, but for mountain trails like this, you know, going down a little bit further down that path at the state park, etc., this is going to be just fine.
Right. And it's, the angles on this car are not quite as impressive as something like a Passport Trail Sport, which is one of this vehicle's big competitors. Oh, look, you got the camera going there.
But no forward view camera, I just noticed. We have these are all back views.
Right.
That is kind of surprising. And and it does have a forward camera though. I mean, there's a camera up there.
Yeah. This is, of course, as we mentioned, the XRT trim, which is not the fully loaded. We were driving the Calligraphy earlier today, which had those cameras. Here, why don't you stop here? I'll hop out and get you coming through some of this mud. At least we'll get an image of what that looks like as the car goes through some wet stuff here. Nothing too extreme, of course, but I think this is pretty representative as to what a typical Tucson or Santa Fe buyer might do with an XRT trim. Maybe they want to get to the hard-to-find trailheads or the cooler campsites, and they might want to go through just a little bit of muck.
Let's get it nice and squidgy in here. Let's try and get up there a little bit. Let's see how it goes.
What'd you say, Alex?
Let's get it nice and squidgy on the side here. That actually feels like, you know, it's doing a good job of sending power to the rear. It's not just spinning the fronts. Let's give this a try in the normal mode. Well, you know, it's actually not bad.
Pretty good?
I think it's mainly tires here. Obviously, it's not the thickest, deepest mud, but it doesn't just sit here and spin the front tires first. It is definitely sending power to the rear.
Nice. Yeah. That rear end looks so cool. This vertical rear end with that low mounted taillight. All right, Alex, do you mind if I drive for this next little bit?
Sure.
Here, I'll let you film.
You and your white shoes there, very off-roady footwear.
I know, I wore these shoes my fiance got me, which is not footwear appropriate for the kind of stuff we're going through.
Mine are not either. I have only I have light grays. So let's
I'll take the camera. You put your seatbelt on.
Okay.
So, yeah, Alex, so we get different drive modes. I'm a little bummed out that we don't have an off-road mode. They did, I think, change the programming a little for the XRT, and we do have this little display which shows you kind of torque vectoring.
And we should talk about this. Like, so what do you think about it? I mean, it kind of has the impression of this being a big sheet of glass here, big LCD. This is actually, in fact, just a regular LED, and only this little tiny thing is actually an LCD.
I kind of like the LED, though.
I think it's cool looking, but I do feel a tiny bit cheated.
So you wish this whole thing was a full LCD. It's really hard to tell. I mean, I'll see if I can zoom in to see the seam, but you're right. Like, there's a difference there between the LED and the LCD.
Some folks might be disappointed, but, you know, I think I'm okay. You know, if I don't have an LCD, I kind of want real dials.
So one thing which is great about this design is because it is so squared off, it's fairly easy to get a sense of where the corners are in this vehicle, the front and the rear, and it's just a perfect box. Now, look, when you look at this design, Alex, I thought initially, well, maybe it's going to have a longitudinal setup, maybe it's going to have a low range and maybe even a solid axle, but this is a fully independent vehicle, transverse setup, because it is meant to spend 99% of its life on the road.
Yeah, there were some of those initial rumors that maybe this would be related to Kia Borrego that's still sold in the Middle East, etc. But no, definitely still a unibody kind of off-road crossover. I think that's okay because the on-road driving dynamics are going to be more important for most people. You can take this a lot of places that you would assume something like this shouldn't go, like this relatively small bridge here. That's kind of adorable. And, you know, pretty actually aggressive departure there from that bridge, I have to say. This does it just fine.
Yep.
But it really is going to spend most of its time on road, even if you are an outdoorsy person, because this is the daily driver. This is the vehicle that's not just a purpose weekend vehicle.
Right, and it is missing a bunch of stuff you'd want in an off-road vehicle. Like there's no integrated recovery points front or back.
I was surprised by that.
Permanent. It'd be really cool if they had done that right. An off-road mode would be cool, maybe a sand mode, that kind of thing. Oh, we got a guy here. Howdy.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Little section right here, just take it nice and slow and easy. There's a couple of orange spots painted, just avoid those, so keep kind of to the left-hand side of the trail.
Gotcha. All right, we'll take a look at what they got going on for us here, Alex.
Yep. Looks like it's just a tire puncture warning there, I guess. So you can see there's an orange spot there on the road you can see.
Yep. And we picked up some wheels there. Traction control worked here. We'll take it nice and slow through these kind of elephant holes, and let's see how the traction control responds. So far, so good. On two
definitely
wheels.
some wheel slip there.
This is where you want that torque converter.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay in it.
you just got to be willing to do it. That's the thing.
And that really is one of the issues with the combination of the DCT and the turbo is on like these really steep grades. You want to maintain a little bit of momentum so you have that clutch lockup. Because here, we're going to try something that dual clutch transmissions hate. So we're going to come to a stop on this pretty steep hill and then try accelerating.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad, but if you
try and creep slow, that'd be the problem, right?
Try to creep slow.
Oh, you know, the wet dual clutch does a little better than I thought.
It's a little better than the dry dual clutch they had on previous ones. Yeah, it's performing better than I thought. Like if you were trying to do this in like the old outgoing Seltos or Kona on this hill.
Oh yeah, that would be a problem.
It would really be fighting you. And they're still like there, so that's full throttle.
Yeah.
So there's still
quite
a bit of a delay. But it does okay. Yeah, now with these turbos that have, peak torque lower in the RPM range, it does better. But Alex, overall, look, the XRT, I'm glad it's got a real skid plate. I'm glad it's got some more ground clearance, and I'm especially glad for these all-terrain tires, which really is what's transforming the capability out here. It's not a rock crawler, but it'll probably get you to some of the cooler campsites.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that, you know, the tire aspect is definitely a big thing. A lot of people really honestly fail to realize how big of an impact tires have on the capability of a vehicle, even on a relatively easy to go trail like this one.
Right, and it's also great too that we're not rolling on a 19 or a 20 or some huge wheel, 18-inch wheel, which gives us pretty decent sidewall and means that we're able to avoid some punctures that you might typically have with like a pinch flat. So pretty decent, Alex, I have to say.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra confidence, a little bit of extra protection, and that's, I think, exactly what the doctor ordered.
Right. Yeah, and I love the design on this. It just looks right going down this trail. I mean, that perfect boxy, squared off look. You opening up the sunroof? Alex is getting wild.
Let's get the sunroof open. Oh, that's not a bad camera angle.
That's so funny.
What do you want? You want to, how about a camera angle when where you're being seen from the, I can't even see the screen, but there we go. So now we're looking at you through the sunroof.
Right.
This is the kind of thing that happens when you give me the camera.
We're looking for tigers. I don't know what accent that is, but it feels like we should be on safari right now, Alex. Well, folks, Alex, if people want to find more of your reviews, where can they head off to?
They can find us over at All the Things Auto Buyer's Guide on the Twitters, the X's, the YouTubes, the Facebooks, etc. And where can they find you, Tommy?
Well,
they've already found you.
They've already found me. I apologize for that.
Where else can they find you?
alltfl.com is where we are at. We got one more little hill climb here, Alex. I'll let you drive. I'll go kind of wander up to the top and get a shot of you trying to traverse that. Look at that thing.
Look at that.
Little climb. All right, thanks, guys.
We'll go nice and slow.
Here, your turn to drive.
Okay.
Alex, you like the green?
I do like the green, but I like green paint jobs, period. So I am a green fan.
The XRT also gets additional cooling in the front here. This allows for a higher towing capacity because of a higher wattage fan up to 4,500 pounds. And then our little air curtains are open right now to let as much air as possible into the front end. See if we can zoom up to the top of this little hill here. Man, Tennessee is just absolutely gorgeous. I love this place. Give Alex a thumbs up. That is such a good looking car compared to the previous generation. Night and day. Got some focus things going on. There we go. My apologies for the flashing of the LEDs. Gosh, that thing looks so good. I like that little extra cladding too on the side. Those squared off wheel arches. And that's somewhere around like a 30-inch tall tire. Alex is working those clutches.
Going nice and slow.
Nice work, Alex. Clawing its way to the top of the hill. Sweet. All right. That exhaust is working it today. We'll see you guys next time.